When I think of great rock outro solos, there's always one that comes to mind for me. And there's always one particular lick that sticks out as well. We're going to learn its secrets today. Back in Black came at the perfect time for me, and I mean the perfect time for me. I was at my first all-night party and probably half in the bag already when my buddy Bert put the album on. We were all going nuts during the title cut, but when it came to that outro solo, I sat straight up. Man, it was incredible, just mean and cooking. A couple of days later, I was able to hitch a ride. Hey, another great outro solo. Hitch a ride to the local Corvettes, and I was able to pick up that album because I just had to learn that outro solo and a bunch of those riffs. So I took out my guitar, took out the record, and took that needle and moved it back and forth over and over again like we had to do in those days until I got the solo, more or less. And right off the bat, it was chock full of just great moves. All fantastic, but those weren't what I was after. This was what I was after. Wow, that was it. That was the lick I wanted. About a year earlier, I had learned the Jimmy Page Good Times, Bad Times lick from the outro of that solo, and I thought it was the be-all and end-all of guitar rock speed licks. Now, I'm not counting Eddie Van Halen, which was still black magic to me at that time. Anyway, here's an example of the Good Times, Bad Times sort of lick I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a great pattern lick to know, and once you get the picking down, it's not that difficult to execute either. I've done a video in great detail on it, and I've put it in the description below. You can check it out if you'd like. But I had a shock in store for me. Angus's lick was even faster than that. How could that be? The answer lies partly in the scale used. The Good Times, Bad Times lick used the minor pentatonic shown here. But the Back in Black lick used the blues scale. There's one extra note, and Angus used it to great effect. You see, the original lick is a 3-note pattern on the E minor pentatonic, like this. And that just continues down. But something different happens in Angus's lick when we hit the G string. Because the blues scale has 3 notes on the G string, we can play 3 notes in the space of 2. So this. And it's faster. So that was the secret to the speed of the lick. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but later when I learned 3-note per string scales, I'd use that idea all the time. Super cool, but for another lesson. But there was another trick in there that was even more important: shuffle picking. To best understand it, we can go all the way back to Muddy Waters and the song Hoochie Coochie Man, or maybe just go to the Allman Brothers version of it. That works too. The riff sounds like this. See how we can flatten our third finger and play notes on different strings while we're picking back and forth on the D and G strings? But using that Hoochie Coochie Man idea and single notes and adding just a little bit gives you the sound that you're going to want. You can add one simple pull-off to it. And that'll give you that shuffle sound. Then you can speed it up from there. And that gives us the whole lick. But that idea of shuffle picking lines is used all over Southern rock. And speaking of Southern rock, if you want to learn more guitar tricks applied to Southern rock, click here, because I show you a bunch of them. So click here. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you on down the road.